Well, let's talk more about the vaccine rollout, because we know so far it does involve these mass vaccination centres and GPs as well. Pharmacies are going to be added at some point. When will that happen? When should it happen? And how will they help ramp things up? Joining me live now is Chris Owen from the Queensland branch, the president indeed of the Queensland branch of the Pharmacy Guild of Australia. We've heard a few different timelines from the government. It was supposed to be May, then it was June. What can you tell us about when pharmacies will be involved?
Thanks, Tom. Well, we would really hope to get on the field sooner rather than later. As we understand it, there's over 1 million vaccines that are being produced each week down in Melbourne, and approximately 500 of those are giving out. So there's about 500,000 doses that seem to be washed through the system. And we're merely asking that community pharmacy gets some players on the field and we have some more outlets to be able to give this vaccine out.
So are you ready now? What's the hold-up?
So initially we expressed our EOI, so expression of interest, back in March. We've done the training. The hold-up is the state and federal governments haven't allowed us to be able to put some players on the field, so to speak. It's like having Don Bradman in your field, but you're putting him as 12th man. We want to be able to get on the field sooner rather than later.
Right, so as I mentioned before, the last timeline from the government went from May to June. What's your information on when this will actually happen?
So in Queensland, we've just rolled out 56 pharmacies that will be starting on the 7th of June. That is the first state that it will have any COVID vaccinations done in pharmacies. We don't know when other states or territories are going to be coming on board. We are pushing both state and federal governments to be able to have community pharmacies, the trusted pharmacists in your communities being given this vaccine. I would like to hope that it would happen earlier rather than later, and we'd hopefully be looking at June, possibly August.
And will people be able to either book in, online, phone, or just walk up and see if it's available, as long as they, of course, they have to get the eligibility within that state?
So once the pharmacy is enabled, they will have a bookings platform. You'll be able to log on to their bookings platform and find the available appointments. Similar to what is happening with the state government rollout and how they're doing their appointments, it will all be done online. You won't be able to walk in, but you will have to have those eligibility criteria met, and then you can organise an appointment with the community pharmacy once they are enabled.
Right, so that's coming pretty soon for Queensland. And will it be Pfizer and AstraZeneca that pharmacies will be delivering?
At this stage, it's just the AstraZeneca. We do need to wait on some storage requirements and logistics to be able to roll out the Pfizer within the community pharmacy network, but we also hope that wouldn't be too far away.
Right, because the latest advice on Pfizer and storing it was sort of regular storage of vaccines, i.e. refrigeration, not just a standard refrigerator, but the vaccine quality sort of one would be okay for up to 4 weeks. Wouldn't that allow you to get into Pfizer as well?
It would be. There is a slight technicality around when that's taken out of that deep freeze and if it can be moved after then. So we're working through those parts now, but we would hope that the Pfizer vaccine would be available with the AstraZeneca vaccine, and we can get the rollout out of the stroll-out phase.
You mentioned June 7, so it is happening, but there has been a delay. What's your best information on why a delay in getting pharmacists involved?
Your question, if I had the answer, we'd both know. I would like to say that if for the better of the community, that pharmacies would have been involved right from the very start. I don't know what the reason for the delay is. There are enough vaccines around the country at the moment that we need to get community pharmacy on the field. We have the skills, resourcing and infrastructure, so it actually would be of economic benefit to government to be able to enable pharmacy.
We've seen the government working pretty closely with the AMA, a doctors' lobby group. Are you worried that essentially it's become a bit of a turf war?
Tom, at the end of the day, we have a health problem that have economic impacts. I would rather have vaccines out of fridges and into arms rather than having a debate about a turf war.
Right, but when they say things such as better off being at a GP versus a pharmacist, if there is an adverse impact, is that a fair criticism?
Well, I would say that it's up to the patient. So ultimately, if you have both offerings available, the patient will choose where they choose to get their healthcare. So at the end of the day, as long as there's vaccine going in arms and there's patient choice, we're not upset.
Once pharmacies are involved in a fully fledged sense across the country, do you have any estimate for how many jabs the pharmacy element of this could deliver each week?
So there's been over 4,000 community pharmacies in Australia express their interest in giving the vaccine. If you say that each one of those could do approximately 50 to 100 per week, we're talking 200,000 vaccines at a very minimum.
It's a big boost, isn't it?
It would be, and as I said, we just want to get some players on the field. We don't want to be stuck on the bench. It's like if you've got Michael Jordan in Game 7, and this is the biggest game of your life, then this is where we need to be out in the field and put our best foot forward. I don't believe we have put our best foot forward, and we're calling on both state and federal government to enable community pharmacy to get involved with this vaccine rollout ASAP.
All right, well, cross between Michael Jordan and Don Bradman sounds handy. Chris Owen, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.